Okay everyone, so let's go and try to continue with task 4 here. While we're waiting for the machine, let's read through here. Now that we identified a certificate template that we can exploit, it is time to generate the certificate request. You could do this step from the command line if you wanted to, but why make it difficult when Microsoft just allows you to do hacking through the click of some buttons? To request a new certificate, we will use the Microsoft Management Console. Load up the console by typing MMC in the Run window. This will bring up the MMC window. In this window, click File, Add Remove Snap In. So we have the Snap In here, as you can see. In this window, you want to add the certificate Snap In. Add or remove Snap In. You can select Snap Ins for this console from those available on your computer and configure the selected extensible snap-ins. You can configure which extensions are enabled. Certificates. Although it will add the snap-in directly, if you had administration privilege, you would see the next prompt. This snap-in will always manage certificates for my user account. This prompt allows you to impersonate service accounts of the machine account, but you can only perform these options if you have administration privileges on the host, which we currently don't have. You can now close the Snap-in Manager and return to the main console screen. Expand the certificate options, right-click on Personal, select All Tasks, and click the Request New Certificate. That means this is the certificate Snap-ins, MMC. For the first option, you just select Next twice since we are using the default certificate CA. What does CA again? CA. Certificate Authority. Okay. We should be seeing the following screen showing available templates. So we have certificate enrollment, request certificates. You can request the following types of certificates. Select the certificates you want to request and then click enroll. As you can see from the screen, we need to complete the information for our certificate before we can enroll it. Click the more information required to enroll this certificate link to start the process. On this screen, we need to be very specific about the information that we provide in order to ensure that the certificate can be exploited for a Kerberos ticket of a privileged user. We require the user principal name of the user we wish to impersonate. This can be found using the AD Active Directory RSAT tools or something like the Power View scripts. For example, we will be impersonating one of the domain admin users in this domain. Let's get the svc.gitlab account since it is a service account, meaning Kerberos authentication is likely expected from this account. The UPN of this account is svcgitlab@lunarlk.com. Using this information, we can complete the certificate properties. First, we change the subject name type to common name and provide the name we want for the certificate. Then we alter the alternative name type to user principal name and provide the UPN of the account we want to impersonate. The value should look like this. We can then add these properties to our certificate. SVC. When we click OK, we will now see that we are allowed to enroll this certificate. You can request the following types of certificates. Select the certificates you want to request and then click enroll. Complete the enrollment of the certificate. Once enrolled, you will be able to view the certificate under your personal certificates. If we review the details of the certificate, you will see the SAN now specifies the UPN we want to impersonate. Definitely not the SAN of our web server. Subject alternative name. Congratulations, you have just generated a certificate that will provide you with persistent authentication to the domain for the next 2 years. The last step is to actually export the certificate to get ready for use. Right click on the certificate, all tasks, and then export. Follow the prompts but make sure to export the private key as well. The certificate should be in PFX format. Furthermore, configure a password for the certificate to ensure the private key is exported. Select the file name and export the certificate. User principal name of the account we want to impersonate. User principal name. should be SBC GitLab account. We want, in which field do we inject the user principal name? Subject name, alternative name. User principal name of the account we want to impersonate. Alternative user principal name. Alternative name type. In which field do we inject the user principal name of the account we want to impersonate? Alternative name type. The user principal name and provide do we inject the user principal name of the account we want to impersonate? The hint is not working, so let's just paste this. In which field do we inject the user principal name of the account we want to impersonate? Let's just see here. Let's follow the process first here. THM okay, we were able to connect. ADR SAT tools. Kerberos ticket. DA users, domain admin. Is that domain admin? Domain. What are we looking for here? Seven 11 4. So we have 4 words that we're looking for. MMC. So I think we need to test things out here. What do we need to do? Okay, so let's just wait for this to reconnect. Okay, let's see. MMC. Or let's just say run. Okay, so we're now at the console. If we try to follow the instructions here, add remove snap in. From there, what we need to do, you want to add the certificate snap in. Certificates. Although it will add the snap in directly, if you had administrative privilege, you would see the next prompt. Current user. Certificates current user. Nope, that's not it. Although this will add the snap directly, you had the administrative privilege, you should see the next prompt. Okay, certificate snapped in. Okay. This form allows you to impersonate service accounts of the machine account, but you can only perform these options if you have administration privileges on the host, which we currently don't have. You can now close the Snap-in Manager and return to the main console screen. Expand the certificate option, right-click on personal. Expand this, personal, right-click, all task, request new certificate. For the first option, just select next twice since we are using the default certificate authority. Okay, so for the first option, select the next twice. Since we are using the default certificate authority, you should see the following screen showing available templates. Next. So we'll have twice. Certificate enrollment policy. Now we have the following here. Type certificate. Select the certificate you want to request and then click enroll. We need to complete the information for our certificate before we can enroll it. Click the more information is required to enroll the certificate. Click start the process. More information is required. Okay. On this one, we need to be very specific about the information we provide. In order to ensure that the certificate can be exploited for a Kerberos ticket of a privilege, we require the user principal name of the user we wish to impersonate. This can be found using the ADR SAT tools or something like the Power View script. This will impersonate on the DA user in this domain. What is ADR SAT tools? Remote server tools for Windows 10. So how do we use that? We will impersonate one of the domain admin users in this domain. Is that domain admin? Let's target the SVC GitLab account since it is. So we have a SVC. So let's first get this RD. I'm not sure what that is, so we'll need to go and we have that svc.gitlab account. Since it's a service account, meaning Kerberos authentication is likely expected from this account. The UPN of this account, UPN is just pertaining to user principal name. So we have UPN, which just simply means user principal name. common name. So subject name to common name. Okay, so let's do that. Subject name to common name. Common name. In which field do we inject the user principal name of the account we want to impersonate? What field are we looking for here? Then we alter the alternative name type to user principal name. So we have alternative type name to user principal name. So that means alternative, we want this to be user principal name, and provides a user principal name of the account we want to print. The value should look like this, and we have value to svc.gitlab at lunar.eruca.com. Alternative name type value. Alternative type value. So what are we looking for here? SVC GitLab. svc.gitlab at lunar.eruca.com. We can then add these properties to our certificates. Add. What is the C involved cert? Oh, okay, so we forgot to put that vol cert there. So it shows C and vulncert SVC user principal name. When we click on, we will now see that we are allowed to enroll the certificate. How do we increase this size? When we close this, what happened there? Oh, okay, so that's the user request. So that's going to be the user request here. What is the details here? That's odd. Did we make a mistake there? Oh, I didn't click. Okay, so let's try to do this one more time. Common name, phone cert. Let's add that. Then svc.gitlab at lunar.eruca.com. that should be a user principal name. Apply. Okay. So that's where the 1 year is found. Let's enroll this. Subject alternative name. Do you think this is the subject alternative name? And that is the correct answer, guys. So we found that subject alternative name as the answer. Subject alternative name. So we got that one. And we get to finish this. Now what do we need to look at? Personal, supposedly we should be able to go to personal and check that out. Let's see. We have this personal and there's the certificate, and we have the Voln cert that we've made, and that will be good for 1 year based on the properties that we have seen earlier. Okay, so we have those information. Personal, we have lunar Voln cert certificates. You will see that the SAN now specifies the UPN we want in person, definitely not the SAN of our web server. So Voln cert, how do we inspect that? Details. Properties. There's no, where did he find that? Voln cert. Details. We have the subject alternative name, and that is the principal name, svc.gitlab. That's the correct one. You have just generated a certificate that will be providing you with persistent authentication to the domain for the next 2 years. The last step is to actually export the certificate to get it ready for use. Right click on the certificate, select all tasks, and then export. So we'll need to all task, then export. Now we have the certificate wizard here. So we have Voln cert. So we have the following. This wizard helps you copy certificate trust list, and certificate revocation list from a certificate store to your disk. A certificate which is issued by a certification authority is a confirmation of your identity and contains information used to protect data or to establish secure network connections. A certificate store is the system area where certificates are kept. So let's click on this, and it says here, make sure to export the private key as well. Yes, and should be in PFX format. Furthermore, configure a password for the certificate to ensure the private key is exported. So we need to have a PFX format. Next, you'll need to set a password. So we have a password here. We need to PFX format, set the password. So what will be we will be using 1 2 3 4 5 6 just to easily remember it. Let's have a password. password, select a file name and export the certificate. So let's see what are we going to do next here. File name, vulncert. So let's just copy the vulncert. Or do we need to go and browse it? There's really no clear instruction about do we need to browse that certificate, or do we just create vulncert that vulncert.pfx vulncert.pfx. It found it on its own. So you would see there it is vulncert.pfx in the thm folder. So do we need to finish this and finish it? The export was successful. When adding the snapping, which option would we select to use the machine account of the host instead of the authenticated alternative? When adding the snap-in, which option should we select? When adding the snap-in, which option should we select to use the machine account of the host instead of our authenticated Active Directory account for certificate generation? If we have administrative access, we just have some options here. If you remember, my user account, so 8 and 7 computer account. When adding the snap-in, which option would we select to use the machine account? Service accounts. Is that service accounts? Let's try to check that out. What option? This prompt allows you to impersonate the service accounts or the machine account, but you can only perform these options if you have administration privileges. If you had administrative access when adding the snap-in, which option would we select to use the machine account? Option to select when we have administrative access in the snap-in machine account. Let's see. Snap-ins. Administrative templates, expanding the restrict permitted snap-ins. Administrative Windows component restricted or permitted snap-ins. Is that which option would we select to use a machine account of the host? Computer accounts. Perhaps that's computer accounts. Let's see. And that is the correct answer, guys. computer accounts. And we're done with task 4. That will be for task 4. We were able to finish task for generating a malicious certificate.